Hi, everyone. We're on day 2 of 40 Days of Hope, and I would like to talk about testimony training and celebrate recovery. If you see under my video, I've been at Celebrate Recovery for at least 6 years because I went in October 2015 when I had a friend bring me to Celebrate Recovery. And what brought me there, I thought it was just my friend, and I was going through a lot of issues with my family. I'm actually the first out of my family to go. I know my other family members should go to Celebrate Recovery, but they don't know how important it is to go, so they haven't. And my parents don't know how much they need to get help. So it's one step at a time. And I've actually learned, not just my parents, a lot of people don't know how much Celebrate Recovery is important. There are many books when it comes to Celebrate Recovery. There are reasons that can bring people in and could bring people out. The reasons for people not being at Celebrate Recovery is they they don't know how important it is for them, and two, some people don't trust it enough to keep themselves registered. Now we can talk about what if Celebrate Recovery has testimony training. It does have Journey Begin and Journey Continues. I've been to both, and I was scared as ever. And now I kind of wonder that maybe I shouldn't have been scared of the things I was scared of. But what does matter is when it comes to how important testimony training is. I was used to think about it and pray about it. And I thought about testimony training before COVID-19. But when COVID-19 happened, it's difficult to know how important it is. I've taken myself and my dog for several walks, thinking about Celebrate Recovery and testimony training. And I thought about it before it started, thinking maybe I'll meet people. Maybe we'll talk about things. Maybe I'll have somebody mentor me at testimony training if it works out. Because I've gone through a lot of hard things socially, and I've been through struggles. I've also lost my bunny when I was thinking about testimony training, and as time went by, I re-looped many different thoughts. Now, I don't know if the thoughts I had in my mind will come true or not. I thought they would, but it's hard to say. We don't always know what to expect, and I don't know how it's going to really start or which people will come. But if I'm on my own, a ministry group hasn't really been um, put together, because if I'm on my own, it's just sole ministry, and I'm by myself trying to figure things out. And But wouldn't a ministry group work and be at its best when it's a group of people? And shouldn't we have a group of people? So we'll see how this turns out. Will testimony training work? God could make it work, but the people who are leaders at Celebrate Recovery, leaders or co leaders, have to let God work through them. And will Celebrate Recovery continue? Well, it's hard to say. The people who started Celebrate Recovery, they might pass away. And if they do, I hope Celebrate Recovery continues, but I don't know how often or how it's going to work in that way. But I would encourage Celebrate Recovery no matter how many leaders pass away. Because if a leader passes away, hopefully another person will take their place. This is called well organized. Another thing is, I wish there'd be more Celebrate Recovery in Canada, but it's not that simple. I have shared with my former Celebrate Recovery about the idea of praying to have a Celebrate Recovery in Sudbury. I thought about moving to Sudbury, but COVID makes it complicated. And I don't know how long it will take before I could move to Sudbury. And I don't know who will move to Sudbury. It's one of those hard things. But if Celebrate Recovery was to start in a new place, the other question is, how should Celebrate Recovery be presented? And when it comes to ministry and recovery, this is our zones of trust. And I'll have to get a pin for that. If we can talk about Celebrate Recovery and the question is, what if it gets a testimony training? I think ministries start small and they grow as they work out. So if the ministry isn't working out, it won't grow and it might shrink. But if it works out, it will grow. But we need to start with something in order for it to work out. And as well as the Celebrate Recovery and testimony training, we may need prayer warriors with this. If you have any more questions about Celebrate Recovery, prayer warriors, and testimony training, and hope, and possibility in the future, you can post it in the comments. And what I do want to mention a few things about putting together Celebrate Recovery, testimony training, some other things. If it starts out small, the question is, how do we share it at our campus? Because after going to Durham College, I feel that 90% of the people who need Celebrate Recovery don't even know that they need it. So, even though Celebrate Recovery promises to cover a lot of things, sometimes talking about the things that it covers, a lot of people don't even know how important Celebrate Recovery is to them. So, the question could be, what if Celebrate Recovery could have events on campus? What if Celebrate Recovery could have retreats? The events and the retreats are complicated when COVID-19 is occurring. If COVID-19 is over, the events and the retreats would be appropriate. But we can't guarantee when COVID-19 is over. So the question is, when will it be appropriate for like to get the events and the retreats, and how can it be set up in a safe manner? Can retreats happen during COVID-19? I think some will. I think many are happening. All over Europe, there are retreats, even during the COVID-19 pandemic. I could mention about um, some of the things that could be occurring on the retreats. Um, like people getting together and but how can we have a retreat that is safe during COVID-19? Well, there could be social distancing, wearing our masks, and we could also be having assigned beds in assigned bedrooms, having less people per bedroom during the times of COVID-19. And can the events happen during COVID-19? Outdoor events are appropriate during COVID-19. And when it comes to masks and not wearing masks, it's one of those questions. And it's a hard thing because not everybody will want to wear their mask and not everyone will socially distance. So that can make it complicated, but it is possible. Should the events happen? Well, it depends on, do you want to risk catching COVID-19 or not? When it comes to how to share about Celebrate Recovery, I hope Celebrate Recovery can find ways to have events, outreach events, to serve the public about what Celebrate Recovery can do for somebody and can help somebody. Even hopefully, Celebrate Recovery could learn how they could present Celebrate Recovery to help somebody, like an average person who has normal problems and normal situations, and just like tell everybody, like, you could come to Celebrate Recovery and share, and even just something like codependency, or even for people to go to Celebrate Recovery and say, "Hi, I'm so and so, and I go to Celebrate Recovery because I need prayer to learn to get along with my family better." Like, even just something like that. It could be that simple. So, I hope you guys learned something when it comes to Celebrate Recovery and testimony training, and we'll see how this turns out. Thank you guys very much. And any questions about Celebrate Recovery and testimony training, please post them in the comments.